What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. LA Mamba. It is Sunday, November 5, 2023. It is 7:10 a.m. before we start work. What's up, guys? This channel is about tire shop business and multiple streams of income. Really, it's about real estate. But just here want to make a video, and last 2 days I haven't been able to. Well, last night I did sleep really good, but the last 2 days before that I haven't been able to sleep good. And for the reason is that I just been too damn excited, and it's been very, very good for me recently. And I have a lot of energy, even though I haven't slept very good until yesterday. I just have so much energy, and I mean, it goes to show I'm up here so early. We open at 9 o'clock. So yeah, I just want to share with you what's been going on, and why when I make these videos, I'm always pushing you tire shop guys to look further into the future. And in reality, it's really about the real estate, right? And I say this because I came from nothing, and I've had no vision when it comes to the future. When it comes to this, I knew one day I was gonna do it, but I don't know exactly what I was gonna be doing. But of course, you as time goes by, you have new doors open and new doors open and new doors open, and it's just because of the knowledge you're gaining, and you're getting better and better and better. That's just the way it is. So like, most of you that are barely starting out and listening to my videos and are going real deep into the tire shop business, it's a beautiful journey, and I feel it's, for those people, it's a very, very, very good way to go. And to add to that, the reason I continue to say, if you're going to be into the tire shop business, one day owning a shop, then also be learning and thinking about going into the real estate business. There's a lot of reasons, but just think about this one. There's two ways of going into a shop. One, if you rent, right, is the easiest way to go. It's the fastest way to get in. If you rent a shop or rent a place, and then you build a shop. Second is if you buy a property. But for the average person who wants to get in the business, most people do not have the money to buy a property and get into the business. So usually the way it works is you first rent a shop, and then you go from there. You get into another shop that's bigger after a couple years, like 5 years, or you buy a shop after the 5 years and move nearby. But the thing is, like, if you're like most people and you just decide to stay because the rent is a lot cheaper to buy a place, then you also have another bad thing that could potentially happen, which is like, if you go in many years and you one day get a notification that, hey, you gotta move because we're selling the shop or something like that. Whatever the reason is, like, you have to, like, get out, right? And that can happen to any of us. And, good thing has never happened to me. And a lot of people I know, they just, usually the owner's happy running the shop and just don't want to sell. But eventually that equity gets really high, and it's like, damn, I already think about selling, because that's a lot of money compared to like how much I'm renting, right? What the owners would say. But that's normal, and it can happen to anybody, what I'm saying. And it's good to know that if you've been buying properties for years at the same time you're doing your tire shop business, that you can say, if that happens, it's all right, because I have plenty of cash flow to live on from the properties. You know what I'm saying? That is like your safety net right there. If something happens like that, it's like, how are you gonna pay your rent or your mortgage if you have one? Your bills, the kids that eat, right? All that stuff. And it's your safety net, man. Like, it also, like, I just say that's like more like on your defensive side also. I'm not about the cash flow. I used to be. And you can see my early videos talking about I love cash flow. I have multiple streams of income. I love the income, right? But as I get like more older and better at business, more into the equity. And I've shared in my videos about why I like equity more in real estate than cash flow. Although cash flow is a basic foundation, you have to have it either way. I just feel like I'd rather much grow and make, let's say, millions than make a few thousands on the cash flow, right? But I just wanted to share this by one of our viewers. He said, let me look at it. All right, let me pull it up. Sorry guys, I just gotta like I've been watching your videos for a year now. I bought my machines in November last year. I still work my regular afternoon shift job. I've since built a client list of easily a few hundred people. I built a good relationship with a local tire importer with profits. The machine paid for itself. A 2014 Mercedes Sprinter 3500, which I am going to turn into a mobile shop. I appreciate the hustle. It's not for everyone, but I truly enjoy this. I hope to have a shop like yours one day. Goals. Thanks for your knowledge and experiences you've shared with us. Also, what TPMS programmer do you have? I've been using the ATEL. Yeah, I just want to share this because that kind of stuff really motivates me too, by the way, when it comes to hold on real quick, someone came. Who is it here? Who is here? Muy bien, muy bien. Yeah, a customer came super early, wanted a job, and I told him can't do it right now. I'm making a LA Mamba video. But like I was saying, that kind of stuff. Also, one of the things that I really love is helping people, showing people, and I have someone I'm helping right now. They're starting from scratch, right? I mean, this kid, he pretty much can't even save $50 a week type of, start, right? And so yeah, he's been. I tell him what to do, and he's been signing some tires and getting some results, and I'm really happy, man. It feels really good. And like I told him, like, you're gonna see once you sell a couple tires, it's gonna be life changing for you, man. Like, if you've been living paycheck to paycheck, not doing extra side hustles, and all of a sudden you get into the tire game, and you guys know this, right? Who's done it before? It's freaking life changing, man. Your income just like goes up, and it's like, damn, I'm not really like have to suffer to pay the gas, or if you gotta go somewhere pay like a bill, like let's say like food or something, it's good to know that you can pay it at least to like buy you a little time to like get to the next sale or paycheck, because he still has a job, which is a very good thing. I told him, hey, look at, keep your job, work it hard on the side, post your tires for sale. I say you're gonna be able to sell at least one customer a week. And weeks pass by pretty fast, right? If you hustle harder and you put more tires for sale, you'll be able to sell more than one tire, more than one sale a week, right? And yeah, it's already been a few weeks, so I love to see the hustle, and he's actually shooting for $1,000 of sale this month. And to me, that was like, wow. When I heard that, I was like, trust me, from somebody that's like that, like from ground zero, right? A young cat. To hear that, man, that stuff really, excites me, motivates me. So, yeah, appreciate that, guys, and also, viewer, good luck with your business, and I'm happy for you. That's awesome. So, which goes on to like moving forward, right? There's always the next level and the next level, and so the next level for me is, this is the very first time ever that I've ever pulled money from one of my properties. So I've been investing for years and just gaining equity and cash flow, by the way. But I don't really treat the cash flow like most people do. What I do is I just roll it over to the next thing. I can explain how I do it, but this is not the time for that. Maybe after. But so once you do a good job and you get a result, then eventually you're gonna be able to get money back, right? So just think about, like, let's say, okay, you got a property you bought and you're working hard on it, years go by, and then you've done such a good job on that property, cash flowing, equity's going up, that one day you're like, and I hope one day I'll be able to, get money back because I did a good job, right? And yeah, I finally hit that freaking first time mark right there. And it feels really good. And I was just thinking, like, man, like, this is the first time ever I actually got money back from real estate. Like a big chunk, right? Which is pretty much a second loan. It's kind of like a refi, but your first mortgage stays in place. What they do is they attach a lien to your property, so they become in the second position, and they pretty much give you like a cash out, right? Now with that, I have a lot of options. Of course, if you have a lot of money saved now, you have a lot of options, right? So like, first of all, my money saved plus this second, and you get real creative. If you're talking about business, tire shop business, right? Your cash flow goes up and all of that with years coming down the line. So it's like, okay, what else out there? This is not just a tire shop. This is also a business, like a legitimate business that banks will loan you money. So what I did was I just went to my bank that I do have my business bank with and opened up a credit line. So there it is. 1 week later, you have your credit line. So now I have even more access to money right there. Now there's no plans of me using that for some reason right now. What I'm gonna do is I will use some just to like have a balance, so I can pay it and it can start. It can have a history of payment. So if I do want to increase the amount later, I can, and they'll give it to me. But that's the only plans for it right now. So that's what I'll do. I'll just I'll do that for now. If an opportunity comes, I can take advantage. Right now, real estate is very slow for everybody, and that's including the sales. So if someone becomes pretty desperate in selling, you know, when I'm doing my deals, and I can take advantage of the property, then I'll do it. But it's not that at that point yet. I think it's still got to be like a few more months for that to happen, you know. End of next year, my guess, like after summertime next year, I think people will get pretty desperate. But I'm not gonna wait that long. It'll be just like, all right, I'm gonna be doing my own business moves, right? So I already have a few things I want to do, which is on some of my properties I can do additions to it, so expand the property. I can either sell that one of those properties and get some money back and go even have even more money for a bigger deal. I want to build some ADUs on one of my complexes, so I can start the permitting process now. I can also apply for a construction loan at the same time to get ready when the cost comes. And I mean, we can go into details of that. Again, it's not the time for that, but it's a pretty flexible loan when it comes to when the payment starts. So that's another one I'm gonna be working on right after this one. But the main one that I'm really shooting for is partnerships with people that I know and trust for years and are very good at real estate also. And actually most of them been in the business way more longer than I have, and I'm really, really good at real estate. But you know, we can cover each other. Oh, we can do this, I can do that, we can do this. All of us can like operate on our own property if we get a bigger property, and make that thing very good, very, very good. So that's our kind of our goal. I can go into the story a little bit later. Again, it's not the time for that one, but I just wanted to let you know that's what I'm shooting for. And that came with a lot of time and experience when it comes to like the business. This is something that I'm barely getting to the next level. This is like a new beginning for me and for a lot of us, because a lot of us are already successful in the real estate business, and we just got together one day and was like, hey, what if we do this? And then it was like, it doesn't sound like a bad idea, right? So we actually been looking at properties. We got to talk about it, but I'm really one of the ones leading this whole team, and I'm very excited about it. But that just goes to like show you how far it can take you one day. Like there was never no plans of this kind of stuff, and I didn't even know a lot about this stuff when, like, even about a year and a half ago, like a year ago, it's just like, okay, how would that work, you know, or how would you meet people like this? And it just happens to be, you never really think about it, but you already know these people, right? It just like comes like, hey, wait a minute, I already have these people here. And it's like, you go to like, you know, places to educate yourself, and You go to look for something at these places, and it turns out that you just look to your right and to your left, and there it is. You don't have to look very far. But anyways, that's what I'm working on, and only that, when you get more experience, your risk tolerance is able to go more on the riskier side because you already know what you're doing. And when you take that kind of approach to things, also it also like pushes you just a little bit further into the profit section, right? So yeah, there's more risk, but there's also more reward. And a lot of us are very experienced now, so like doing our own deals, and that's another plus. That's something like I wasn't even like considering, like, let's say a year ago, right? It's just that I just keep getting better and better and better, that I'm like, you know what, I can do it in this time frame, right? It's like, okay, how long is the loans? Usually they're 5 years. And what's got to be done to the property? This got to be done, all right? That seems like there's no problem there, right? It's like that's plenty of like time to do things like that. So, and especially if you have like a lot of smart people on your team, not just like me trying to figure it out, right? If you got smart people on your team, you'll be able to figure it out in 5 years. But anyway, so again, it's just starting from like scratch, from the very beginnings of like the gentleman said on the review right there, all the way to like however far you want to take it. And by the way, there's even a lot more people that are ahead of me that I know that buy even bigger deals, that make even more money than me when it comes to real estate, that come from a tire shop background, or even still own tire shops or tire businesses, that I see what can happen, you know, and what's a possibility. So when I talk about real estate in my videos, it's not for you to like, oh, I just want to hear the tire shop stuff. No, you got to hear everything, because if you are good at the tire shop business, which you pretty much figure you are going to be good at it, then you're going to have money when you do what you got to do. And then when you have money, what's the next step? I mean, tell me. Are you just going to sit on your money and do nothing? Right? I've done that. That's if you do that for years, it becomes a very sad journey, because like, let me tell you something. If you don't have money, then you have a problem, right? It's like, okay, the problem is to get money. And you're always going to have these problems, right? If you don't have money, then you're going to have a problem. It's like, okay, my problem is I got to get money, so okay, let's come up with a plan to get the money. And if you have money, then you have a problem too. It's what are you going to do with that money? And so pretty much it says you don't hold it. You know what I mean? You don't hold it because it devaluates. Like, you just, there's a lot of, I mean, the cost of opportunity is the biggest one, which is like, if you would have done this deal, then what did that cost you, right? Just an example, if you're in the tire shop business and you have, let's say, $8,000, right, to play with, that you have nothing to do with, just an example. And it's like, okay, like, I can just sit on it and do nothing, just hold it. And by the way, you're like, your costs are all that, your expenses are taken care of, you have cash flow. And it's like, all right, well, I could have bought like 500 tires for the week. And you know how that goes. You sell those things pretty fast. If you have a lot of customers, those things sell pretty fast in 1 week. So let's say, if you would invest it, let's say those $8,000 and you purchase 500 tires on a Wednesday, by the next Wednesday, that money already made you like, let's say like, I don't know, $1,500 to $2,000 just on those $8,000, because you've been selling and getting your money back, and a lot of profits. You know, the profits in the tire shops, tires, the used tires. I'm talking about the used tires, right? You know, you're over 100% profit on the tires. So what are the if you would have just kept it one week and it's like, okay, I don't feel like spending it, I'm gonna keep it. Next week passes, you still got the money on Wednesday. It's like that money you actually lost money. It's not worth $8,000 more. It's worth a little bit less because of inflation, right? But if you would have spent it, worked hard, you got your money back, and you would have made like, and that's what I do, by the way. I'll make like $1,500 to like $2,000 on $8,000 in a week, right? And that's normal. Like if you were just doing everything right, you get the right tires, you get like the good quality tires, you get the right sizes, and you buy that much, then that means in that amount of tires, you're gonna get a lot of hot shit, right? And you know the business. I mean, I don't gotta really explain that to you, but what did that cost that other person? I'll tell you what it cost him. It costed him for that 1 week on that $8,000, $1,500 to like $2,000. Well, that's what I'm talking about when like if you have money, then if you're doing a good job and you have money, then your opportunity cost is gonna cost you a lot of money. And it's like always next month and next month and next month, right? So you're gonna have to do something with that money, and if you're doing it right, you're gonna have more money than what you can do at your own shop from time to time, right? It's like, okay, I have this amount of money. Is like, okay, it's kind of like too much to like play with it at the shop. I can use some of that money and I am investing in it and all that, but you gotta think bigger. Like, okay, now I was like, are you gonna buy a business or are you gonna buy real estate, right? But if you buy a business, then you just buy yourself a big problem because you're not even there at the business. You're gonna be focused on your shop. You can't be focusing on two businesses at the same time. But he's like, all right, well, if you're gonna invest that money, you buy a piece of property, you know, that money is gonna be working 24 hours, 7 days a week, without you even being there, right? And so you're like, oh, okay, like that sounds more better. And, you know, let's see what else. And you're like, all right, well, this is why it does that. You get some massive tax breaks, depreciation. If you know how to use all that, you'll eventually learn how to use it if you study it. And there's videos all over the internet about depreciation and your tax benefits when it comes to real estate. That it cuts into your like tax time at the very end of the year or beginning of the year when it's time to pay up taxes. Like, all right, well, if just by buying this property, if it saved me $5,000, then you add that $5,000 to the cash flow because it's like you save that thing, right? But it's included in your business and real estate, so it's like it's a lot better. And that's what I learned when I pretty much my first place. It's like I had no idea this how it worked. Like when tax time came, I bought it because I was thinking about like, okay, I have this much amount of cash flow I can make. I have these renovations. I have this extra money so I can renovate this thing and this. That's what I was thinking about. But when it comes down, I got rented it. I made all this cash flow during the year. At the very end, I didn't have to pay like to the government when it comes to that amount of money I made. It pretty much ended up in my pocket. Plus extra taxes that I saved for my business. That was a huge win. And I didn't expect that, right? But you'll end up learning that if you buy your first piece of property. Right? And again, if you have that money, that if you're very successful in the tire shop business, let's say you got like 10 years in, you know, somewhere around that, 8 years in or something, then it's like you can make that next step, and it's like, man, this is a whole nother ball game. And then years go by, you keep doing that kind of stuff, just buying more properties, getting more cash flow, and then it's like, hey, I'm not gonna just think about like making a few thousand a month. I'm thinking about making millions in real estate. Like one of my buddies was talking to me. He's like, you know what? This, you know, property I just bought in Long Beach. You know, I'll stabilize it, and I'll pull out $1 million, and I'll just have that to play with. Man, and that he already bought that thing like a few months ago. I think it'll take him like a year and a half to get to that level. If he does everything right. If he doesn't, then it's gonna take him a little bit longer. But hey, I ain't gonna complain if I make half of that, right? But I mean, that's just the game of real estate. And again, it's like if you have a tire shop, you have an extra advantage because you're not tied to a real estate business. So when the downturn comes, like it's coming up right now, or everybody knows it's already here. You see businesses, you see people losing jobs. Your friends, your family, some of them might have lost a job here and there. The job went overseas, they lost a job and stuff like that. But then you see your own personal business when it comes to tires, you're like still like selling a lot of tires every day. And it's like, man, I'm really blessed and grateful to be in the tire shop business. But at the same time, a lot of people who are in the real estate business, like when it comes to active income and passive income, right, as an investor, and they're getting affected big time with their, with their sales and their loans. And then you think, hey, I'm really glad I'm not in that business. I'm really glad I'm in the tire shop business. And then they're just looking at you like the little guy, just looking at you like, what the fuck? This guy's not stopping. But they're like losing negative, on their business every single cash flow every single month. And again, I know a lot of those guys too. But yeah, you have a very, very good advantage if you're in this business, if you're gonna invest in real estate. And so like that's why I keep talking about it. And it's like, I hope people just don't like tune it out of their ears, because if they think they're gonna do good and if they're that good, then what? Are you just gonna like, just rely on your business and just like not do anything else? Then you put yourself in that position. Okay, well, what if you get kicked out of your lease, out of your property that you're renting out? Then what? You're gonna lose years of work, because now you got to move, and then you got to get new clientele at the new location, even though it's nearby. A lot of people don't follow you. Like, I mean, yeah, a lot of sure do, but a lot of them that just think about the location, like, and I would say like at least 30% of the people just think about, okay, this is where I went, I'm gonna go back to that shop. At the location, not the name, right? And it's like, all right, well, they'll go there, and one day you're not there, it's like, oh shit, now what? Then they'll go somewhere else that they are like, that they have second position to you. Like, okay, this is my favorite spot, this is my second favorite spot. They're gonna go to the second favorite spot. They're not gonna think about like, shit, what was their name? Where did they go? And a lot of people are not like, that are not really your customers like that. Like, they're not gonna go and do that. You know what I mean? They're only like your real customers are, and you'll be fine. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that you won't be anybody. Like, it happens to me, I'll be fine too if I move out like that. But you're really gonna get set back like 3-4 years just because of that. And yeah, you bounce back and all, but it ain't gonna be the same as before, right? Hopefully it gets better. If you get a bigger location, that'd be better, right? But yeah, I just might be having a safe spot. Okay, like that happens, oh no worries, same month I'm good, the next month I'm good, 10 months later I'm good, 2 years later I'm good. If the cash was coming in from real estate, it's like, I'm good, whatever happens. That's my defense. Real estate is your defense, right? Awesome. But yeah, I mean, I want to tell you this funny story before I go, but it's a pretty long story, but I'll tell you it. So I go to Bakersfield on Thursday with one of my buddies to check out a property, right? And so anyways, long story short, we get there and get out of the car, we go into the property, and it's like, you go and it's like, damn, this place is dangerous. So then I see like this like piece of land that I had planned, okay, if I buy this thing, like I can build like 2 additional units right there, right? So we go to the area where it's kind of like safer. It's pretty much like a little piece of land, right? And I tell him, his name is Steve, my buddy. I'm like, Steve, this is the spot where I told you we can build ADUs. But the reason I went there because it was pretty dangerous on all the property, and this is kind of like the safest spot. And then someone starts coming to us this lady, right? And she goes, hey, are you guys the guys who are going to be able to buy the property? And I was like, how do you know? You know? I mean, I just said that. I mean, I haven't been, I'm not in an escrow or nothing. I just want to go see it, right? And she's like, hey, well, my name is Nikki something, and I'm the resident here for the longest out of everybody. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome. You're the person I want to talk to then. And she's like, yeah. She goes, Michael something, whatever his last name is, I don't know what. He's a slumlord. And I was like, oh shit. And then he's like, yeah, like, let me tell you what this property has. It's got rats, it's got mice, it's got cockroaches, it's got termites, it's got mold. And I was like, oh fuck. And it's real bad condition. There's water leaks, there's no restrooms, that like all the sewer lines are like no good. Like they're like stuck. And she just told me all these things, right? And I was just like, wow. And then she's like, all right, look it. That one there, that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there. She's pointing 7 of them. Like those 7 units that I just pointed out right there, all have squatters. And I was like, oh fuck. And then, so I look at Steve and I said, yo Steve, no wonder I haven't been able to get those financials from the landlord. And Steve was all scared in the back, man. And so we start talking, and she's like, yeah, my unit's the best one out of all of them. And then I was like, let's go see your unit then. So we get into our unit, and we're in there, and she's like showing it, and then I was like, man, this is pretty bad. And she's like pointing to the roof, and she's like, hey, look at that. That's a brand new roof right there. And she's like, that whole thing was caved in. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, hey, Steve. Hey, Steve, that's a brand new roof. And he was just all looking at me like, oh shit. So we're going back and forth in the outside, and it's getting dark. And it's really looking dangerous now. All these gangsters right there and stuff. And Steve's in the back all sweating and shit. And then like, she's like, yeah, like we went to Home Depot and we all bought ACs. And then, and I was like, oh yeah? And then Steve's like, how you get the money? And then she was like, we all got side hustles. So pretty much the story goes that she herself was a squatter, and she herself like became the manager and started renting out the units to other squatters. And when they don't pay, she says, yeah, so like when it's time to go for them, when they do something they're not supposed to be doing, then we all help them move out. Like pretty much she kicks them out, right? And then Steve was like, oh yeah, like, hey, that's illegal. And then she's like, well, maybe for you it is. And so like, man, that was so funny. Like I was serious the whole time. I didn't like laugh over there. I really wanted the information, right? Like I wanted all, like, you know, it's a big purchase. That thing was like over $1 million asking price, but that thing wasn't even worth like half of that thing, man. That shit was like that bad. Like you have to like kick everybody out and renovate all the units, and like that's not like investing what we're trying to do, man. Like, yeah, I know there's opportunity, but for somebody else, what we're trying to do is get buy a operating business, which is tenants already paying. We take over and we make it even better, right? That's our plan. We're not trying to like do all this construction and all this, kick out everybody and stuff. I mean, yeah, whoever does that's gonna make some good money, but that's not what we want to do. We want to like have monthly passive income, right? To start with and make it even better. But yeah, after that, man, me and Steve leave, and we were just like laughing, like, man, that was a piece of shit property. Like, I told Steve, that's the worst property I've ever seen in my life. And he was like, Me too. Oh man. So yeah, that I mean that just, you know, move on to the next property. Then we just like, you know, gonna look into other properties and just like put out that one as a no. But you know, that just goes to show, like, when you're gonna go, you're out there in the field, you're out there doing your due diligence. And I wasn't even an escrow. I was just, I wanted to see that thing bad because that agent was lagging so bad. He's such a bad agent. Shame on him, just, you know, wasting people's time. He should put on there cash only, right? Like, come to the property cash only. But the point is, yeah, you're gonna be seeing some crazy stuff out there. You do this kind of stuff later on, which is very fun. It had a blast that day. I mean, it was awesome. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I wish I could talk more, but I mean, this is a long video and it's already kind of like getting up there in time. So we'll be seeing you on the next video. Mamba out.